And guys, we're back. Wouldn't be a fucking hamburger podcast show without some technical difficulty, right?
We always do that. We always do that.
Theo, what are we?
What?
What are we rated? We are
We're rated R.
the number one.
Oh, yes, that's right. I came up with the new slogan.
Yeah, and didn't remember it.
The iBurger
Smoke more pot, loser. No, I'm.
number one podcast for technical difficulties.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? Every time we have technical difficulties, if you can, just switch over to like a little dog. It's in The Simpsons, but it's a dog pulling the cord.
That would be good. Yeah.
It leads into the Comey memo and the firing and all that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that whole thing, I don't get at all. Who knows about this shit?
Everyone's a political major, apparently.
Yeah, I know nothing. I didn't even know. I didn't know there was a Comey. So.
You just have to read the articles. What do you mean?
Here's the craziest thing about Comey is the one issue that led to Trump's victory led to Comey's demise.
Yeah.
No way. I mean,
To me, the whole thing seems stupid.
I think if he wasn't still investigating the Russia thing, he wouldn't have been fired
God,
because
this
is-
Trump loved that he reinvestigated the emails for Hillary
Yeah.
because it hurt her campaign.
But then when the even
When he's
worse
doing
thing
his
he
job-
does circles back to him, then it's,
Right.
I
Then
can't
it's
have
like,
you in
whoa,
my
whoa,
business
dudes.
anymore.
Well,
Back up.
We've become like an entertainment gossip on
The news
politics.
is like
Inside edition,
show
Donald
on right
Trump.
now.
Here's the problem: is that this is going on. Like nobody fucking gets it that we are at the end of time. There's been philosophers that say, people have said forever that time ends, like our civilizations will end when they start just repeating. When all they do is repeat, when they're no longer when they're no longer original, they die. And our civilization, which is our next great topic, Roseanne is coming back to TV.
So is Will and Grace.
Will and Grace is coming back to TV.
So is Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Friends is coming back
No.
for one final season.
Friends is coming back for a final season.
Cranston said no.
Nope, I kid you not.
I'm
So,
looking it up. There's no fucking-
so here's the deal. We have 2017 is coming up with the 90s sitcoms in 2017.
It's a reverse. It's not a nostalgia anymore. It's a reverse.
It's not nostalgia. It's in unoriginality. They have nothing, and they refuse to get people who are original. And and the theory behind it is that the people in power realize we are at that point. Civilization is ending, and fuck it.
But this is also a hypnotically, mentally repressing thing too, because what happened is we're the '90s were such an innocent time.
Yeah.
As far as growing up. Now we live. I grew up
Well,
in the '90s.
Growing up.
No,
You were 4.
No, I think that it's like. I
No,
think
check
the
this
era
out.
was-
I
we
still
were
grew up.
economically good. I feel like.
No, we were not, though.
Yeah,
we were in a
we're way better than
recession
we
in
are
the early
now.
90s.
We were at the we were at the end of the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So check
But
this
things,
out.
I
So-
feel like people just have a longing for. But there's plenty of original content.
Like
Like,
Yeah, but I'm
what do you
saying-
mean? Netflix has like 20 original shows of their own with
Tons.
people you don't know the
Because
actors.
they're throwing darts at them, and they're just
But
making what
what
they
I'm saying
can.
is there's so much stuff. There's so many channels. There's so many new things that are going out there. I do think it's something that the cable networks can't be as bold and daring as those ones can. So now I think that they're just relying back on their old shit because they can't come out with they can't put nudity on ABC. They're not ever going to do that.
well, they
We're never gonna do
did
that.
It did, and it was what's his name?
NYPD,
And-
but NYPD Blues or whatever it was. Yeah,
No,
What was it, like a
NYPD
butt?
Blues.
whatever it was.
NYPD Blue, yeah.
Yeah.
They've shown a butt, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
And I think
Yeah.
they've shown a
They said
boob
they
or
did
something.
shit,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they cuss more now.
You can say bit-
Yeah, you can
bit
say
now,
things. Yeah.
Which is
It was
crazy.
a
Asshole.
huge deal when they said they
But-
got it for the first
I
time.
just
But-
think
yeah.
competing against the new stuff that's out and knowing that you have this stuff that people are like if you look at Netflix and stuff like that, like I just watched Roseanne a few months ago, like a bunch of seasons because it was on Netflix or Hulu or whatever. So if you can
It's on
see-
IOD too.
If you can see these numbers of for the shows that you had that already worked, why it's the. I don't think it's a lack of originality.
Well, and then
it's a want of money.
Remember when they Fuller House is another.
Oh, Fuller House is another one.
Fuller
Here's
House
the thing.
went to Netflix,
Hey,
though.
hey, let's bring back Fuller House. That's fantastic because we need to remember a show where we had a fucking pedophile and a drug addict sicko.
Bob Saget.
Wait, which one was the
and-
pedophile?
Rob Coulier.
What's his face? Coulier.
Coulier.
Wait.
Dave
Kool-Aid
Coulier.
lives in Tarzana.
He was the one fucking Alanis Morissette. He was fucking Alanis Morissette when she was 15. When she was 15, they were fucking.
Get Coulier to drop.
Really?
But he's also known for being super creepy like that.
Yeah,
He
And
seemed creepy.
but that's the thing. And so you've remade that. You've done all these other things. And so here's the thing.
That's
Yeah,
a movie.
Baywatch.
Yeah, I know. Baywatch came back.
They've been
That's where The Rock lost my vote for presidency.
But they've been.
We're now in 90s nostalgia.
It's a reboot of what they do, but again, there's no original ideas. So when you take a show and you're like, I'm gonna make a movie out about this, and it's like
Yeah.
a total parody. I'm like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this shit?
Well, I mean,
And
they
then
did it with 21 Jump Street.
it's a parody,
Right.
and then Miami Vice became a total dark fucking movie. But
Yeah.
I see that one.
Well, that's what I mean is though. But there are original ideas out there.
there's tons.
But here, you know what they're putting up? Men in rompers and
Yeah.
shit like that because they have an agenda.
You're
No,
They are
Burger,
feminizing men.
You know why you think that they're?
Oh, I believe in that. I believe in the feminization. It started out with the feminization of black men,
You guys have
and it's
always
just spreading to
been feminine, you just
feminization.
haven't been able to let it out. Whatever.
You know what I wish I was? I wish I was
We do.
feminine.
Is that feminine? Is that
What?
But-
boobs?
No,
Yeah.
some guys want to dress up more. Some guys want to fucking cry. Do whatever the fuck you want. There's no big scheme about it. Yeah, maybe people are being more open to like letting men live their lives the way they want to because women don't want to be second-class citizens. So if we let you guys cry, maybe we'll get paid more.
No.
I don't know.
No, you're wrong.
No,
You're
it's
third
not.
class now. There's men, there's transgender men, and then there's women, and then there's transgender women. Yeah, you didn't fucking jump up. You jumped down a class when men decided to be women.
Remind me when a
Yeah.
transgender person takes something away from me then, because I don't think that that's
Oh, dude.
No, they just got stuff before you.
They just get the back.
Yeah. Every right you're fighting for.
We already have. What are you talking about? give one good example.
Well, they get to be women and still get paid like men.
You don't know that. They haven't done any studies on what transgenders.
I did a study.
No, you
Yeah, I did. I was watching this one dude get his check.
didn't.
It seemed good. It seemed like a good fucking check. You know, it's you know, I you know, it's my fault for living and going places and experience. I blame me. I-
This conversation again?
No, we're not going down this road again.
I veto that.
Yeah,
Nobody could veto me.
it's true. This is.
I can put in a recommendation. for veto.
But fair enough. But fair enough. No, but you know,
Very Trump
yeah. But no, but the whole thing being is just like that. My thing is, I feel like there is an agenda, and I do want every child to feel like they can be whoever they are, whether you're masculine, feminine, in between, back and forth, whatever you be. You're perfectly fine. I do want every child to feel that way. I don't want any child to feel one way is the way. One way is right. I want every child to be able to grow up and be whoever they are. So we don't need to influence people either way. We are getting away from influencing that a boy has to be like this and a girl has to be like this, and that's good. But
Gender roles are basically obsolete.
that's the thing. But we shouldn't go to the point where we are influencing people. There are like 5, 6-year-old, 7-year-old kids that are boys dressing like girls, and yeah, give them a minute. You know, like give them a minute. Let them decide. But
But they can always choose to wear pants the next day, I guess.
yeah,
I know what you're
it's
saying, but I
just
feel like-
yeah.
Date for a day, princess.
You know what it is? It's a super hard thing. You know what? Someone said a great thing. Like, yeah, my kid could come home, put on any dress they want, and run around and do all this stuff. We are not in a time where I'm going to send my kid out to be that kid, to get fucked with that much in this time right now. But also, that's one thing. My thing more about it is just that there's an agenda out right now, and I don't like it the same way I didn't like the previous agenda, which was, against people. I don't like it everyone should just be free. And the problem is we're too influenced. Our children are too influenced. I mean, I shouldn't walk down Hollywood Boulevard with my kid and have to go buy dildos, bongs, dildo, fucking lingerie shop, cock ring. I mean, it's too much for them to see in a fucking window.
Yeah, but you also live in right off of Hollywood Boulevard, so that's a choice.
But they weren't allowed that at what time? First of all, Eddie's smoke shop had to be discreetly hidden. It could not have anything showing. No advertisement whatsoever. Back in the day, they would hide these things. I am all for keeping this shit low key because marijuana, even if I call it an herb, okay, it still isn't what I want my children doing. When they're adults, they can make their decision. But I don't need my kids to walk by 100 weed stores and it all smells like weed.
But that's your job as a parent then to make sure that they don't.
No, I have to get certain places. And if every direction there's 6 weed shops, 4 bong head shops, 7 shops selling dildos.
Then don't live in Hollywood.
But that's the thing too, is Hollywood is a family
Maybe it shouldn't be that choice because
Not all parts of Hollywood are a family destination.
No, but Hollywood
I mean,
Boulevard is a
Yeah.
family destination.
Yes.
And they do walk that thing
It's a
left
tourist
and right.
attraction.
And
For
they bring
families,
them,
yeah.
And then that's the biggest
Not
disappointment
everybody's a
ever.
family.
And so, but the families don't know that.
There are a lot of people who come here just to party and like just be in
Yes.
LA and like groups
But
of
there's,
Yeah.
dudes
there's people with
and the bars are fine. The bars are all fine.
things for kids to do too. Like
Not
it's usually
really.
closer to the Highland area than it is.
Hmm.
Like if you start walking past that, I mean, it's kind of.
Well, there you go though.
on the wrist.
I could take my kid to the Highland Mall.
Right.
Nice little mall. But we're gonna walk through fucking clouds of pot smoke.
But
And
that's California.
yes, but that's what I mean. It shouldn't have got to that point. It should still be something people are doing indoors, doing in places where it's allotted, not on the streets where kids are.
I think don't have your kids there. Then it's like the whole music thing. Like, oh,
Well, no, here's the thing,
Like, you've got to. You got.
I have a choice. I have a choice to let my kids buy an album. I don't have a choice on how I take my kid to school. There's one way to get there.
You can move.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the
If
thing.
you don't-
Here's the thing. Hey, you don't like crosses burned on your lawn? Fucking move. I don't want to.
There's a different.
I don't want to move.
Different-
I don't want to move because your ideals don't match
Threatening
mine.
somebody- no, those are completely different. Threatening somebody's life and smoking outside because pot is legal are two completely different things. You're not trying to hurt anybody around you. It's your legal right at that point to do that. That's different than
Yeah,
going
but-
on somebody's
but
lawn and
Courtney,
burning
what-
a fucking
no.
cross.
Courtney,
There's no reason I should have to move to avoid things.
We're in Los Angeles, though. No matter what neighborhood you're in, it's going to be the same gentrified weed shop, dildo shop.
I'm sure that there's less smoking in Beverly Hills.
God damn,
or-
we have to go to Bakersfield now?
So since I can't afford to live in Beverly Hills, I have to then put up with ridiculous bullshit. Now here's the thing.
Yeah, that's
I love a good fucking cock strap and dildo like everyone else. I love getting my weed from a shop.
Who doesn't?
Love getting my weed from a shop. I also don't mind going into blacked out windows. I don't mind going to a back door to get this shit so kids don't have to be around it.
I missed
That's what I mean. We respected our children. We don't respect our children in this country anymore.
We're trying to make marijuana exactly what it is.
talking
more
about the black
accessible.
It should be.
windows.
It should
But
be.
If it's for smoke shops and stuff, it's like people are trying to show people that marijuana is not a criminal thing. It can be like just.
So you see
I
all
think
the
everybody can come
bongs,
in
a
and feel
bong
more
that's
welcome.
shaped like an asshole, so you
Yeah.
can smoke out of that. I've
I've
seen
never
that before.
noticed a bong shaped.
I have. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, we both know it on Hollywood.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys have seen it.
And it's not even that.
When I wanted to stop working in Hollywood because I didn't fucking like this area, because I didn't like the people and the crime and all that shit, I stopped. So I mean, it
Yeah, my
was
kids
like
like
I had to
eating.
make.
My kids like eating.
Okay, but
Yeah, I
it's
don't.
like,
There's no.
put up with some shit
You know,
that
I called my mom and she said I don't know you.
Hollywood, you knew that
Called my dad. He was dead. I couldn't move.
I feel like it just sounds whiny to me.
Really? Okay. I mean, I guess it's all how you look at it. I put children first in this country. I fuck everyone else but our children.
Kids, but like
Yeah.
as a young adult, there's a baby who lives next door to me, and it's like maybe West Hollywood's not the place. You know, like maybe it's not because
To have a
there's so
kid?
many young people in this apartment building. There's so many young people. There's a band who plays all the time. It's
Yeah.
like, it's never going to be quiet. It's right next to where people race up Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
It just is like, but
Oh, you're
that's
talking about your
choice.
apartment?
Yeah, but that's your choice. But I don't think it's going to be the most convenient and the best, the quietest, safest place for you to have a kid.
Yeah.
That's just the nature.
I'm like,
Yeah,
for me, I'm cool with the MS-13 graffiti. I just want a roof
You
over.
have that in your apartment? The
I
Valley now?
yeah, he's in the valley.
They made, no,
Oh, they've been there forever.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah,
there.
they're
Yeah,
in Van
over in Vineland, off of Vineland and
What does it
stuff.
look
Yeah,
like?
Oh, really?
yeah.
It's like it's pretty bad cursive.
A lot of the Vineland boys. It's Mata Savadushi,
Yeah.
and it's
Oh,
yeah.
Sallucci, of course.
Don't
And
fuck with them.
now, but that's the thing though. That's the thing is, you know what makes them badass? Nothing. They'll wipe out your whole family and people you know. That's it. That's all. It'll be a bunch of short little dudes who probably a month ago were selling chiclets, and now they're carrying fucking automatic weapons,
Yeah.
and they'll wipe out your whole family and kill your kids. They'll eat your kids in front of you type of shit. They're not tough.
I have a friend of mine who was a child's book author, children's
Mhm.
book author and teacher. He's standing at a newsstand in Sherman Oaks, which was one I passed by all the time. And
On Van Nuys?
On Van Nuys Boulevard?
Van Nuys and Ventura.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what that is. Right by Crave.
I used to work at the pizza place, which is now the pita place.
He's standing there.
Things
delicious
change.
pita, by the way.
The what?
Delicious pita.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, used to be.
And all of a sudden, he gets attacked by MS-13 gang member. Like he was a random initiation.
Yeah.
And it like the stabbings tore up his intestines.
Was he black? Was he black?
White.
Oh, really? You know, I say that because a lot of their initiation for the Latin gangs in the Valley is to kill a black person. Yeah, I had a buddy James at the Canoga Bowl. I've talked about it before. I don't know if you ever went to Canoga Bowl, but James was the janitor dude, the maintenance dude. He was shot over a Latin Columbus Street.
So you're saying there are rules in these gangs?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, the rules are to kill a black person.
Lies.
That's not a rule.
Earlier.
That's not a rule.
Yes,
That's an
it is.
animal.
That's the rule.
That's an animal.
That's an animal. 'cause
That's a fucking low-life animal.
Rules are rules.
No, but that's not a rule.
Yeah,
Kills-
there's rules in kiddie porn too.
Yeah.
They're fucking pieces
I'm
of shit.
just saying everybody can abide
Yeah,
by rules.
there's rules on the show.
Crazy.
But the rules aren't positive. We all got to show up. We all got to do the show. They're lax rules. Their rules aren't real rules because no one has to follow them.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. The society is what makes it a real rule because we make real consequences.
When-
for
Yeah.
certain
when
things.
was
so
this
they have
incident?
consequences about their
Theo.
This was in Sherman Oaks.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when?
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
now, I didn't get to his transformation. What happened after? He was rushed to the hospital. His intestines are shredded. They're pumping him just full of pills and all that. And he's out of work because of that. So he gets into the spiraling depression.
Mm-hmm.
So has to balance out with a ton of like a cocktail.
Yeah, drugs. Yeah.
So it completely changed his mental state.
Mhm.
Now he's kind of a loon.
Yeah.
And living at his dad's estate.
Yep.
Which I've been to.
Yep.
Very good house.
And
Nice day.
and
He
yeah.
cooks a good buffalo fillet.
Yeah. Well, and those dudes, when Trump made the statement, is who he was talking about. That's exactly what he said. The murderers, the rapists, and stuff like that. Those are the people he's talking about. Now, the fact is, yeah, a lot of great people from Latin America come here, and they contribute, and they're wonderful people. A lot of people like that are coming too, and that's the thing, and that's what people aren't getting. We are in a society, where you live in the valley used to be so safe and nice. I mean, it was a safe, nice neighborhood.
But I mean, people kill each other all the time. I mean, it's like such a small percentage of, like, I mean, there's always going to be people killing people. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, there'll always be people doing everything,
But I mean, like to make a blanket statement like he made was just completely out of line.
but in its actuality is completely true
No, because
that a
it's
lot of the
showing
people coming.
It's showing the scope of how much life experience he actually has because that's all he really knows about that group of people. Sure, other people have told him, and that's what he's heard, and blah 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 blah.
Man.
Like,
Don't fuck with that.
But they
MS-13.
are a major problem.
what I'm saying is he doesn't know enough about the country to see the other people who aren't doing those things and working and blah 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 blah. He only knows this one thing, and that's what he wants
Yep.
to believe. And you cannot have power and be so close-minded and just look just one way and say this is the way that it is, instead of being open-minded and seeing what's really there.
Here's the thing, though. If you look at it, do you want to sift through to find the good people?
You
Do you
don't
want? I
have to
don't.
sift is what I'm saying. That's what his vision is so tunnel that it's not even about sifting for good people. You don't have to sift to look for good immigrants who work hard.
No,
and
no,
have something
I mean-
done. Like,
With the policy, good and bad can get in. So if the point is, hey, really bad people are coming in. So sorry, good people, but this is shut off. Like if I had a water main coming in and a lot of the water coming in was good, but some of the water would kill us. I'm shutting down the fucking water main, not going to sip some.
That's the whole, there's a bowl of M&Ms, 10 of them are poison. Are you going to eat the M&Ms?
None. Would you?
I mean, I wouldn't need them.
The probability that I don't get a poison one is still super high.
Yeah, but would you eat it?
But
You'd eat the M&Ms?
Yeah, that's crazy.
10 M&Ms in a bowl of M&Ms are poison.
Would end your life.
In your life. So you grab a handful of
They don't
M&Ms.
talk about how big the bowl is.
The problem is like
I don't care, I'm not eating those.
I don't know about your analogy right there. He's like, look, people are standing there with knives, and they say, if you step forward, we're going to stab you or not.
No, but
I step forward.
The bigger issue, the reason I have a problem with statements like that is that even if we didn't have any immigrants, a lot of terrorist attacks and shootings and stuff like that made in the name of being patriotic or white nationalism or whatever have been American people, and they're the ones who are doing the mass shootings.
Yes.
It's mainly white dudes. I don't see us wrangling in white dudes off the street because of all these mass shootings that have happened year after year after year, several times a year, killing tons of people. We never just are like, oh, a white guy, we should probably check him out, make sure he's not depressed and gonna fucking kill people.
Well, we
Yeah, 'cause
should.
that's profiling.
We should. No, no. We should. We should concentrate.
That's
Yeah.
not okay.
Well,
The bigger issue is white dudes, and we don't
Yeah.
say shit
No,
about
no.
that. But it's okay for him to make a blanket statement about a group of people where there is a small percentage of bad people.
Mm-hmm.
It's always gonna be apparent, even if you don't come in as a bad person, you might do something bad. So how
Yeah.
are you supposed to know that?
And you know, and that's the thing is, and I know a lot of white guys are dressing up like them and committing crime too. Statistically, you're wrong, but because statistically per capita, their crime triples. Latin America, I know, but statistics
But I'm talking
disagree
about
with you.
terrorist attacks.
I mean, we can
No, I'm
disagree and
talking about
agree. There's
terrorist
statistics,
attacks.
yeah,
Look,
yeah.
Okay, what terrorist attacks have we had in our soil that were not committed by an American?
What is a terrorist?
Terrorist attacks
They're not
have been committed on our soil that were not Americans.
Simply. The biggest one obviously is 9/11, but people think that
Boston dude wasn't an American originally.
San Bernardino, but they were
The San
American.
Bernardino dude, they were on visa, I believe.
But that's two people. Out
No, no,
of-
we just
what about
named
the
we just named
Charleston
three.
shooter?
Boston
What about-
bomber.
The weatherman.
Yeah, the weatherman, the
I-
Boston bomber,
You guys know
the army
guys
guy,
out there killing people.
the army
Oh,
guy who was an Arab. Oh no, it's no. There's people doing it. This is the thing.
white guys.
You're right. We should blame the whole world on white people,
I like how we
but
clarify
or
that.
white men. We should blame white men for everything.
You
Yeah.
don't like,
attack.
you don't
Yeah.
like me
Yes.
saying that.
I'm a Jew. I don't
You
care. I'm not a white man.
saying that white
Yeah.
guys are
9/11 wasn't brought
doing
up.
a lot
Yes.
of mass shootings,
Let me repeat
but
that.
it's okay to say that every
9/11.
Mexican person comes in as a rapist.
Why
Like,
is
that's
mass
crazy.
Yeah.
shootings and
No, no.
terrorist attacks?
Let me tell you. I didn't say no white guys are doing shootings.
Agenda and
Yeah.
that's
You said name. Yeah. You said name people. You said name non-white people. You said name non-American terrorist attacks on the soil.
And they're like-
And even if I disagree, there's been
I'm gonna look
there,
at the
yeah.
statistics.
There's a lot more than what's been on the news, but there's a lot more than what's been on the news.
Stuff that's been on the news we haven't seen.
Yes, there probably is. But
right.
statistically, there's non-Americans who've done it. 9/11 again, supposedly. Now, me personally, but again, yeah.
I don't even believe that.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. Everyone picks and chooses when they trust the government, when they don't, and who they do and who they don't. I don't trust the government. I don't trust what they tell me, period. Whichever one does it.
I'm sorry. How do we go from like 9/11? We're so pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
It's an inside job. Blah blah blah. And then again, going back to him, Trump. I miss Bush.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm serious. There's over.
I still don't
oh.
like Bush, because
No.
Bush still committed horrible war atrocities.
I mean,
Obama did too.
every one of them. This is my point. This is why the world is so ignorant. Because they don't look at it from a human view. They look at everything from their personal interest in the world, not a human view.
But isn't kind kind of part of being a world leader, the acceptance that there are going to be some lives that you probably, because you run an army, you run the security.
You
of
don't
the
gas
country.
people.
Like, I mean,
You don't bomb innocent villages.
sure, for sure. There are different
Not
ways of
accidentally,
doing it,
yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I feel like there's got to be
Yeah.
there's an understanding. If you're a world leader, you're like, okay, well, everybody's life's in my hand in a way, but there are specific people who I can actually say, okay, we're going to fight this war. So it's like there's always going to be some deaths that happen at the hands of the president.
We still call them world
It
leaders.
just depends. Yeah,
It's a lot of deaths for some of these presidents.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's
That's
But-
all of them.
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, and that-
I'm saying
yeah.
some of them. It's just the reality of the world.
Well,
I mean, Nixon got us out of Vietnam.
No,
You know?
the president doesn't even
No, they haven't forever.
why?
we're a plutocratic oligarchy. We're not a republic.
We're
Why do we need to be involved?
we're a corporation.
Yeah, I was about to
That's
say,
what we are.
We're run by a select
Yeah.
few corporation.
Unless we're attacked, why do we need to be involved?
Well,
why do we need to be?
There's
Well, we've talked about
so
that-
many.
We've talked about that before with like, I think it's that
Well,
in
why?
order to maintain status as a world power. Well, one, we're in all of these like negotiations and allies and stuff with different countries. So if they ask us to help, we have an obligation in order to make sure that they have our back in the future. So I mean, that's
true.
kind of our obligation.
Sounds like
and
trading spots for comedy.
pretty much, yeah.
In a sense, but at the same time, when you think why we're there and what we're doing, it's never in the interest of helping, because we can't be in Afghanistan because we want a better.
We don't want a better life for them.
No,
we want something.
we want their oil.
We want something out of each country.
When
We're
our
not-
country,
we're not-
when our country
we're
has
a
the same
hungry
oppression,
country.
yeah, we have the same oppression here that they have there, and we didn't go there to fix it. We went there for oil. We went there for our corporation. Our corporation wanted to take over another company, a small company called Iraq and Afghanistan, and so we did a hostile takeover. We did a hostile takeover of it. And
It's been around.
and that's what went down. And so that's what I'm trying to say is when I say we are kept on an agenda and everything else, because I'm saying the powers that be on, and I don't know the powers, I don't know what they control, I don't know who's doing what. I'm not going to pretend like so many people do that they know all this shit because they read a conspiracy theory.
The Illuminati,
That's what I
is that
mean.
it is?
That's what I mean. I always think if we know their name, it's not real. And so, like we wouldn't know it.
But something like that.
Yeah,
even, you know
yeah.
what I mean?
But then you have to think there's multiple people, probably like the movies, fighting against each other. Who knows? We're not in that tax bracket or in that part of the
Sure,
world.
that's why we should realize that in every decade there's been a different race that's been our antagonist in movies.
Well, that's what I said. The Arabs were
We
the
had
suave,
Arabs,
beautiful.
we
We
had
switched them
Russians,
to evil.
yeah.
Russians were evil. Now that they were good.
Now
Then-
they're out there.
We're implanting an enemy into
Yeah.
our heads.
Just remember, Russians were a joke 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And now they're a threat.
we barely considered them a country anymore.
Well, I mean, it's a threat for them to have any intelligence.
Oh God.
Well, no, but it wasn't even that.
Superior
Yeah.
Intelligence with
But-
Obama's
But
administration.
you know what? But it wasn't even that. It was.
Well, Trump just did that.
Well, it was the whole thing was they all have, but it's not even that. It's the whole thing is simply that it doesn't matter. It's literally a game they're playing with us where they influence us to do this or that, and that's all they can do. You can't control people. You can influence people certain ways, and they've created us into this divided ridiculousness where everyone's fighting over, they're saying the same fucking thing. We want a better life. And that's all everyone's saying is we want a better life, but everyone's saying it from their view. And this person's going, well, you can't have that unless I can have this, and you can't, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, how about be human?
Do you think that this big secret society, let's call them the Illuminati, do you think that they like? I mean, in order to be like that powerful, don't you think they would have to have like? Well, one, you'd have to get new people,
Yeah.
which is a process.
Stonemasons.
But I bet you that they have like some really poor people who are like maybe spies. I don't know. This is just
That's how the stonemasons supposedly work, or the
Freemasons.
Freemasons. Sorry, Freemasons. I was
Who are the
it's from The Simpsons, I think. I got
Oh,
it.
Stonemasons.
Stonemasons.
Yeah.
But the Freemasons.
They're my neighbors.
Yeah.
They still exist, and they're still here.
Yeah.
And they're very. Jimmy Kimmel.
Skull and Bones, yeah.
That's a Freemason.
Yeah, and there's a huge building on Wilshire that's all Freemason.
And there's one in those fields.
So these Freemasons supposedly are these Illuminatis. Now, there's different
And
people.
they're influencing us.
Yeah,
and
well,
we're
well, here's how it works: is there's different levels of being a Freemason. So you might have a dude who's a plumber, whose dad was a Freemason, like that. They're Freemasons, but they're not in on anything. They have their little lodge. They might be helping to carry out something, maybe knowingly or unknowingly, but they're just a small part of it. But they're connected to the lodge. So, but watch this. It means that this dude up here can hit up this dude down here to do something small that he wouldn't really know matters because they're connected by the lodge, being lodge brothers.
I don't know. I just thought of this because I feel like we get to a point where we start to create Bond villains out of nothing. Like, if
But
you think
isn't
about,
there a big Bond villain
no,
somewhere?
if you think about aside from a few major countries, like nothing of this caliber is ever doesn't exist.
What do you mean?
Like I feel like we're over dramatizing what goes on around here because sometimes our lives are so wrapped in ennui that we're just like, you know what, it would be cool to have world control.
If there was this big power and
But
that
we're
is-
like the only country that thinks this hard.
No,
about it.
I think that we want something like that because it's too much to wrap your head around the fact that they're just people who don't get, like, it's easier to think, there's a group of evil people or an evil person and they're just pure evil and that's why they, want to hurt people or make bad things happen or whatever, instead of being able to just rationalize that sometimes people don't agree and it results in shitty stuff. And so, it's easier to just be like, oh, there's got to be some evil, thing behind
bigger
it.
power.
Yeah.
There's a bigger power behind
We're all
it.
just a little shitty
Yeah.
and we don't get along.
But now, yes, but keep this in mind. In the entertainment industry, which we all work in, we know how things are manipulated and moved and set up and everything else. So, I mean, from marriages to divorces to fights to everything is set up to create a certain outcome that they want from the PR people. So, why not on a bigger scale, someone doing the same thing? That's why I say nobody can control people. You can't control me, but you can set laws or do different things or set things in motion that can influence me into a certain sort of response or action.
Well, and you can also be the manipulator of people's subconsciouses too. If you implant
Hello.
an idea in somebody's head through certain mediums,
Yeah.
then that's on them to have been tricked. You're
Depending on their age. Because, see, influence, if you ever saw Clockwork Orange.
yeah, of course.
So, influence
But
is
you
insane.
have to be,
Yeah.
you have to be adept at it to the point where they think that they are thinking of this, whereas you're going to.
It's almost like that thing where comedians hear another comedian and then they forget about it and then they do a similar bit. They think that
They thought they came up with it? Yeah.
There's a term for it, but I forget what it's called.
We do have selective memory. There's been many psychological experiments done about
Oh, yeah.
They know a lot about their own lives, but then somebody will say, "Oh, remember when that piano fell on your head?" And then they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's right." But
Yeah,
it
you
never
can
happened. Like you're
manipulate
tricking.
You people are suggestible, but what I'm saying is, like the super soldiers, they psychologically change them. But think of a kid. So that's what I'm saying is the influences on our children right now. We are going to have a generation of some of the most open, understanding, and most fucked up ignorant groups coming up. And that's what people don't get. Meaning you have people who are like my daughter, my 16-year-old. Okay, she doesn't have an ism most of her life, for almost 10 years of her life. But even before that, she was around all different types of people, races. I dated girls from many different races, things like this with my wife now. She didn't grow up realizing any of these things and this and that. She's a straight A student. She's going to go on to be super not open, because she won't even know it's being open. Just growing up without hate, without prejudice.
Well, she'll recognize it eventually because she's going to have to go up.
She'll see it.
She's going to come
Yeah.
into something where she's like, what the fuck is that?
No, she hit me up about something, and she could just was like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's how people are, da-da-da. And so And I mean, like her grandma tried to tell her one time that my youngest daughter, oh, that's your half sister, and she's like, what half? And like things like that. But that's the thing is, she's going to go on to do these like amazing things and all this stuff and be so open-minded. But then you have a kid right now who they're growing up on Xbox and violent or whatever it is, violent games. They're growing up watching the Kardashians. They're growing up with all this stuff. They're yelling "Cash me outside" and all this shit. And they're going to grow up to be the most ignorant, useless pieces of shit. And it's going to be a majority of them, and way less of the other. That's what's scary.
I might find it everything's relevant at the same time. So everything, everything repeats itself. So we're repeating itself again, over.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a Filipino Vietnamese community, pretty much. There's a handful of white people, including my family, but mostly Asian. And
Great food.
huh?
Great food.
Oh, great food.
We had an Asian friend. They'd
never
always bring food.
I never saw anything of color at
Yeah.
all in my school because they're all my friends.
I did.
Everyone I
There was
dated
black
was
people,
Asian.
brown people.
Yeah, well, I didn't see that.
Yeah, but I
They're
think
my friends.
seeing it is a good
But
thing.
only thing
Yeah.
that because I saw us as we're friends, we're people, we're human beings. Like you said,
Mhm. That's
all I
it.
saw.
Yeah.
Until I moved to LA, that's where I saw things.
Well, you know why though? Because in LA is where everyone from everywhere else comes. Because if you grew up in LA, when I grew up in LA,
Yeah.
this place, we were all hanging out in LA at Lemert Park, around the pantry, around the parks and everything else. It was mixed. It was mixed race, everything. We'd go down there with my dad and my mom, and we'd all hang out. And then crack hit, gangs, all this shit. Our government was nice enough to provide a way for this all to happen, and then it completely segregated again. And so that's the thing is, yeah, I grew up in a time, but race became such a huge issue again in the 80s and 90s, and now that's what I mean. It's like it's such an issue, but we are all so mixed. What's the issue?
Well, I think it's like you've got to. It's just the cycle of like, yeah, everything's cyclical. So of course something's gonna pop back up, and it's like the. I don't think that people try to make it as much of an issue as it's become. I think it was more awareness than anything, but like you've got to break things down sometimes to build them back up. So I feel like the more that we learn, the more that we're connected with social media and the internet and all that shit. Things have to break down a little bit. Like I don't think it's gonna be as bad as you think it's gonna be with like all the ignorant kids who are so affected by what they see in reality TV and the internet. Because hopefully they'll go out in the life and they'll have different experiences and they'll realize like, oh, that's a stupid fucking thing to do or say, and you just grow. I don't think
If Hollywood wasn't filled with kids who didn't make that choice, if I don't step over them every day getting to wherever I gotta go, or they're strung out up and down the boulevard.
Oh, are those
Yeah.
people who are strung out making
Chinese.
involved?
Meaning that's what, like, if you've been walking around Hollywood, there's tent cities
Yeah.
in Hollywood. There's up and down the streets, people living, and this is what I'm saying. This is not how Hollywood was.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, what influence do those people have? It's like that's their.
That's what I mean. But these are kids from mediocre homes, a lot of them, and a lot of them not. A lot of them troubled. And, I mean, but this is the acceptable life. This is the thing. Everyone's going to do drugs. It's okay. There's not even a stigma on doing drugs anymore. It's like if someone came up to you at our age and went, I have never done drugs,
Yeah.
would you look at them and go, what?
I would.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
That's the society we're in. When I was a kid, me and Hugh Pierce were potheads. There were a couple other potheads, like people who smoke pot, not even potheads.
Yeah.
People who smoke pot, a few. It was so low key and so like, whoa, you keep it, low. And then when we were doing coke and stuff, you weren't walking around going, yeah, no, I love coke with your friends, yeah. But you didn't want other people to know, and you kept it low key, and you weren't proud of, doing like where it was just so open.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's the next step of just like developing and being like
Sodom and
people are
Gomorrah.
like, what's gonna happen? Yeah,
That's where we're heading.
What can happen to me
Great.
if I
Yeah.
say I do coke? Like
No one cares anymore.
What's very interesting is that you talk about coke and you talk about weed, which is two different drugs.
Which a heroin teacher just got busted on heroin.
But two different things of drugs, but people like, brag about it. Like, oh yeah. But when you talk about alcoholism, which I've been trying to build into my set now, I know I have alcoholism in me. That's what I do.
Is it from all the alcohol in you?
You know me. I drink like every day.
Yeah.
I drink every day.
But like I said, I have alcoholism in me.
In me.
Yeah,
in me.
it's like in my left hand
But,
right
you know,
here.
It's right here.
I can point to where it is.
But
On my mother's side.
everyone's ashamed of that. Like, oh, what's wrong
Yeah.
with that? And it's weirdly enough the most legal thing to buy.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well-
alcohol's so dangerous.
Okay.
The most legal thing to buy.
I know,
Well,
that's what I was telling my mom.
Are we talking about Tim Allen next? Because we want to talk about drugs.
What do you think? We'll get to that. What are we doing for it? Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's going back to Tim Allen.
Yeah.
It's another kill yourself.
I like that. I
I
like
have a
that.
question
Yeah.
though about, because we didn't, I forgot this, we were talking about the revamps, and
Yeah.
somebody said something about like, fuck Roseanne, like she voted for Trump, so like this is fucking bullshit. And I was just like,
So she shouldn't get a show?
yeah, like, she's taking her show back because she has a political opinion, like,
That's my
it's
point.
just, like,
Yeah.
that's just too far.
So wait. She got her show back, her political opinion. Tim Allen, all the comics are attacking him because his show was
It was horrible.
just because.
Yeah. It was a bad
I
show.
watched it.
It's a bad
It's a tacky comedy family show, and I laughed a few times, but it's not the best show. I actually do deep down. I actually have a Tim Allen thing because I like
Showtime was funny. They're all funny.
Yeah.
Home Improvement
Home
Yeah.
Improvement was a
with
good
Pamela
show.
Anderson.
It was
Yeah.
actually a pretty funny show.
One titty
But,
hanging
like,
way down to here now.
I like again. He's just his shtick. Some of his jokes made me laugh. I don't know, and also I wrote a screenplay in college where I had him in a horror film. I'm like, this was perfect, but everyone's attacking him of his conservative views.
Well, the show has like a lot of conservative themes, right? Is that
Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, doesn't a lot of shows?
Tim Allen's conservative. He grew up in a
We all
family with
know that.
money.
You know
Why
Jay
isn't it
Leno's
just-
conservative,
Yeah, why
But he-
isn't it
yeah.
just like?
but you guys all
do you
love
think-
everyone loves Jay Leno. So.
Well, I don't know about that.
Jay Leno, I hope he gets ass cancer.
I
I hate that fuck. He's a piece of
But I'm
shit.
just saying, like,
He
it's-
fucked over Carson, and Carson was a
Hey,
dick.
fuck over Carson.
It's more about the ratings of the show. I feel like I've never heard anybody be like, "Oh, I love Last Man Standing." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not
No.
Oh yeah,
anything I've ever heard anybody say.
But I'm just saying is everyone's attacking him, but then Roseanne Barr is a Republican and likes Trump and voted for Trump.
That's so
And
crazy.
the show's coming back, and a lot of the comics in the comedy world, it's like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
Crazy Scott Baio got
I mean,
more
Roseanne
shit than
was
her.
amazing.
Yeah.
The show Roseanne was fucking amazing. I didn't know that.
I'm
she
just
Oh,
saying
it was a great show.
Trump.
of how things work, of how you attack certain
Yeah.
people. And you're not going to attack Roseanne Barr, and you never did.
Yeah, no one attacked her. I didn't know she voted
I
Trump.
didn't know that she voted for Trump.
But Scott Baio gets nailed.
Nailed.
Yeah, but Scott
That's
Baio was
what
also
Scott Baio
giving
didn't love
speeches,
Shockey.
and he, Joni,
Joe.
Yeah. Well, not anymore.
but he was giving speeches
Yeah.
at like
He's not into
these
necrophilia.
conventions and stuff like that. Like he was very open about it. I mean, I don't think that should matter about them getting their
No.
show back or not.
No.
And no one's attacked
I
Drew
think
Carey.
But no one's calling for Charles in Charge to be brought back up.
I did.
You know, yeah,
I did.
except Talmo. Talmo really wants it.
Maybe Happy Days.
And they're actually bringing it back, but it's going to be called Charlie Got Demoted.
Demoted. It's Charles got demoted.
He, one of the, absolutely the nicest guy, though, I gotta say that. Just the nicest person. Scott Baio, yeah, really is. No, really one of the nicest dudes. And I used to golf with
He's an
him.
idiot because he read
And-
the articles. That's all. That's it.
He's actually a really, really nice, really, cool guy.
Person, no, I'm just-
Never talk shit about the 9 billion women he fucked. Never. Whenever we would be golfing and stuff, he would never. I even told him one time, dude, you have banged a lot of women. He goes, yeah, I don't really talk about it though. It's
But
like,
I mean, he was chachi. Of course he did.
yeah, but I mean, then fucking Moran's brother called him out for having a tiny little penis. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. She said that Aaron Moran, which is funny because it was the older brother because John Moran used to date a girl I used to date. And they got engaged, and I had sex with her when she came and told me that night that they got engaged.
Just because you're famous doesn't mean you have a big
Kevin Hart
dick.
lives
Yeah, no.
That's why you get
I'm like,
famous.
how you like
In the TV.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Kevin Hart to Petey's.
Kevin
He
Hart.
only lives like a mile and a half from me.
Kevin Hart into Petey's.
Yeah, in the Petey's place.
You could get Kevin Hart into one of the dryers next door.
I know.
You can easily get him in. It's getting him to come down is the problem. Yeah. 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 I know now.
And
Yeah. No,
Who's this guy?
there's probably new lists that so many more people at it. It was sad.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. What if the newest train?
Right? Some people were like, nah, I don't mind him anymore. Well, that's what the guy called and told me. He goes, I looked you up. He goes, are you really a teacher and this and that? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, and all this stuff he was asking me. I'm like, yeah. He goes, because I was looking you up and all this stuff. And he's like, it kind of seemed like bullshit because I guess he watched the show where I was talking about it.
So we're talking about this again, but we're not going to.
No, next week. But yeah, and so because I don't know. I mean, people had told me before, like, dude, no, you're banned a lot of places. And I've had other people tell me, like, I can't put you up. Like, people won't do my shows. And I thought, okay, well, a few people, so what? What can you really do?
What's the extent of, like, what's the reasoning behind that? You know what I mean? Like, I could understand maybe if you, like, physically got in a thing with
Nope.
somebody, but
Actually, avoided it twice.
Other than,
And that's not like me.
or like if somebody sexually harasses you and you're like, I don't feel comfortable doing this shit. Like, but I would just be like, I can't do that shit. Can you put me on a different time?
Yeah, no. I've never sexually harassed anyone.
But like, it's just like
I've never even asked someone to fuck.
behind that?
That's what I mean. Well, some of the people on the list I don't get. Some of the people on the list I know exactly why, because I've called them out on shit. But it's true shit. And if it wasn't true, your response would have been, you're a fucking liar. That shit ain't true. Or you're a lying piece of shit.
Anything ever denied?
No. No, when I called Garland out right in front of his fucking face, he just looked at the ground. Now, if someone told me that I was fucking a dude and giving him spots and I'm married, I'd have beat his ass right there on the stage. That would be it. That would bring me to fight. Very few things that ever bring me to fight anymore. That would be a fight starter if someone was making up some shit like that about me. But he just looked down because he knew it. That shit's true. You can't say nothing. But me bringing shit up causes a lot of problems. Well, the fact is, the reason we're going to see Roseanne again, and the reason we're going to see Twin Peaks again, is these people. They want to have the jobs, but they don't have originality. They don't have anything to bring. So they have the jobs. They're not going to lose them, but they don't want to. They don't want to get called out on nothing. They don't want... Hold on, you're going to like this. Watch this.
Oh.
Kill Yourself Award! Huh? A banner. Is that fantastic?
Wow. Kill yourself.
The Kill Yourself Award.
You can tell when we're like, all right.
You got to space the kill in the award.
I know!
No. Kill the space it.
Come on, it was new!
Space it.
The Kill Yourself Award goes to every and any network executive who has just approved a show that already went off the air and brought it back. Fucking kill yourself. Hamburger, guys, what do you got going on?
Oh, yeah.
Court, go.
Oh, me? I was about to do something. Oof, never mind.
She's like, well, I'm going to fuck later. We're like, no, in comedy, yeah.
Fuck later, but I am going to go on a date.
Ooh, she's going to fuck.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. I have a show in CB Valley, the Junkyard, with Casey Moran producing that show, and then I don't know. I have my podcast, Hot Chicks Are Funny. Look at my website. I'm too high right now.
Tomo.
Check me out at the zoo. So.
Fuck yeah, Theo.
Set state at the Carmel Lounge on Tuesday, and then I also have Manhattan Elk Lodge every Tuesday.
You can catch me at Liquid Zoo, Manhattan Elk Lodge, or the UBG because I'm banned everywhere else.
Oh yeah, my mic.
Oh,
is
don't
this
forget-
weekend, too.
Oh, you can catch me at the hotel.
Don't forget
So,
about
yeah,
Petey's,
4
too.
places and Petey's. So I've pretty much got a full schedule. I don't want to brag. I don't want to talk about pay, but I think I'm only have to pay about $40-50 for drinks. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. And so, guys.
Wait, also follow us on Facebook.
Yes.
Unburger Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Unburger Podcast.
Also,
Instagram.
and last one is, and imburgerpodcast.wordpress.com.
Oh, that's good. I can make the RSS feed. That's that.
Beautiful, guys. I'm Burger. Have a great night.